You know, it's the everyday celebrations that make our lives so special. How about a girls' night out? One of my favorite things. Now, a friend of mine put together this really cute layout all about her girls' night out, and I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to put it together. So the first thing you'll notice is this background, which I think is really awesome, and that's actually made out of vellum. If you don't know what vellum is, I just want to explain to you, it's a sort of translucent paper. And so what it does, as you can see here, is it tones down like a busy background. It has that really pretty effect. You've maybe seen like a wedding invitation with it. The problem with vellum, as much as I love it, is that it's really hard because you can see through it. Where do you put the adhesive? So you just want to make sure that you use a adhesive that's actually meant for vellum, because it will be transparent enough that when you put it down, you'll never see that line, okay? So that's just a quick little tip. So now let's get to making our own pattern vellum, which is a fun idea. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a stamp roller, and I've chosen this cartridge right here, Admit One. It kind of seems perfect for a girls' night out to do tickets because it's an event, it's a celebration, right? So I'm simply going to release this, and then I'm going to roll across here. Now you'll notice that I have put down some paper under here, and the reason for that is because to make this really look like pattern vellum that I bought somewhere or something like that, I want to make sure that I'm going all the way off the edge. And to go off the edge and not hit my table too badly, then I want to make sure that I have something protecting it. Now you can see I'm curving, I'm overlapping. That's one of the things that I like so much about using a stamp roller, is that it's always going to be something that you control, you can have fun with, you can get a nice line, and it has a really cool and unique look. Now, of course, this ink is permanent once it's dry, so that, of course, is the other reason we want to be careful not to catch the table underneath. So once this is done, I'm going to give it a moment to dry, but luckily I have one that I have already done right here. Let's adhere this. So again, I'm going to use an adhesive that's meant for vellum so that you'll never see it. It will just fade into the background. Okay, and that's really important. And this means that I can go right up to the edges and right up to the edges. And one of the hints that I'm going to give you when you're using a tape runner or something like that is you want to make sure that when you stop, give a little bit of a hard stop. That makes sure that you're ending completely properly. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and place this down on here, and it's going to be ready to go. Oops, and I ripped my vellum because I'm a sloppy crapper. Now, once I have this down, I'm ready to start adding my title. So I have these little letters, and you can see how easily they fit exactly into these die-cut holes. Really cool, really fun. So what I need is I need to use an adhesive that's a thinner adhesive in order to go on the back here, because otherwise I'm going to make a big old mess. So I'm just going to go ahead and curve around all the curves, turning it, going ahead and getting it down. So then I'm fine. I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. And if I want, I can, of course, it's never too late. You can just go ahead, and I'm going to add a tiny bit of adhesive right there with my vellum adhesive to keep that down now that I've gone ahead and put my finger through it. Then I'm going to go ahead and keep going and adding this in to make sure that my die cut fits perfectly in there, just like so. A very cool look. I can even take these really super skinny paper strips and go ahead and add them right in. Now you'll notice I had to turn my tape runner the other way, and that's because I wasn't paying attention. And sometimes with the tape runner, you're not sure which direction to hold it in. A generally good rule of thumb is look for the logo on it. And if you look for the logo, you'll see that that's the way it's meant to go. Logo right side up. Okay, so now let's look at our photos. If you see here, I have this cute little Polaroid that I've created, and that's really easy to do. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your photo and you're gonna go ahead and adhere it. So I'm just gonna add some adhesive onto the back here, and you can see one of the, oops. So I'm being really sloppy today. So you can see I got a little adhesive here, but the nice thing when you're using these honeycomb adhesives is you can just rub off that excess if you go too far. So There you go, I've got it. I'm gonna put it up here. And then to add an even more fun touch, I'm gonna add these fun sayings to the bottom, and I wanna show you what they look like. And I also wanna give you a tip, which is if you hold it sort of at a 1 o'clock angle, I think you get the best results. So let me turn this so I can see my photo, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my saying on there. Super cute. I love all the like shorthand texting talk. And of course you can use a lot of different designs. For instance, there's flowers, which are also really, really pretty. There's hearts, all sorts of stuff, whatever it is that suits the project that you're doing. Okay, so I would simply cut that down so it looks like this. My kind of fake Polaroid looks really good, and I'm ready to pop it into my layout along with my supporting photos. This does look like a fun girls' night out, doesn't it? So now I'm gonna add my journaling onto these little ticket shapes, and I think this is a really fun idea to mount a plain cardstock shape right onto a different color, and I'm gonna go ahead and adhere those down just like so. And how much adhesive you use is really up to you. If you're a person who loves to use a ton of adhesive, then go crazy. But I always think my projects are going into a page protector. I'm not that worried about it. That said, I don't want to turn around and find my, letters and stuff at the bottom of the protector. So I put on enough to hold it, but not so much that it has to go through a windstorm. Okay, so the next thing is I want to add a little decorative tag up at the edge. So what I've done is I have a template here that I've just drawn based on the size of these, and I want to show you how easy this is to do. I'm simply going to take a pen. This is on the back of a piece of pretty pattern paper, and I'm simply going to trace, and I'm not even really tracing it. I'm just kind of going around the general area to make sure that I have it right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab my curved blade scissors, and I'm simply going to snip along here. Now you'll notice that when I'm cutting, I'm just sort of relaxing. I'm turning the paper into it. I'm not that worried about it. I'm not trying to be perfect. I love that art is homemade by me, okay? And I'm just gonna continue to snip along those lines, super easy, just like that. And if I turn it over, you can see now I have this cool, fun pattern paper little ticket tag that I can simply add up into the corner. And here's a fun design idea, okay? Things that run off the page, just like when we were stamping and we wanted the tickets to run off the page, always make your layout look even more interesting. So that's why I have this running off the page, and if you don't wanna cut it, you know what you can do? Just fold it over, clip it on there, and if you look back at the finished piece, you'll see we added a couple sparkles, because that's it's fun for a girls' night out to have a little bit of bling.